it's tough to say at this point, but just having a 2-game lead without even looking at decks usually gives that player an advantage. So Casie in a good spot.
All right, well, it will be the Rogue deck for YouKnowWP. Definitely, as we said, a very difficult matchup for the Paladin, but certainly by no means unwinnable.
Yes.
We actually saw last weekend, it was actually on the back of exactly that card, Ragnaros the Fire Lord, that Casie was able to take down Miracle Rogue on his way to winning DreamHack.
Yeah, and that's a key card in a lot of matchups now, especially for the N'Zoth Paladin. It deals with Freeze Mage very well. Of course, it deals with Stealth Auctioneers very well. The time for Ragnaros is now.
Yeah, we saw Ragnaros kind of fade out of favor quite a bit during the previous standard season. I think in part due to the popularity of Paladin decks with Muster for Battle.
Yeah.
You saw lots of minions spread across boards all the time. Now, not quite as common to see those big boards except at a zoo.
Yeah, maybe also because of the popularity of Dr. Boom.
It's true.
Causing the popularity of...
It's like, oh, Big Game Hunter.
Big Game Hunter.
It's true.
Both those cards Rag does not do very well against. So.
Absolutely. All right, well, we are into the game. And again, Casie just playing his control deck at a breakneck pace.
Yes. He's doing us all a favor, I suppose. Yeah, but nothing crazy here as seen from Casie's deck. This seems like a pretty normal list. Aging to Pure is a card that some players will choose to put in, and some player will not choose to put in. And there, you can see on your screen the road from Casie moving into this, taking out Sensivka, like you mentioned earlier, and Pavel with a pretty good win-loss record.
Yeah, I mean, he came through the lower bracket, which meant that he had a very long road. We see, 21 wins. That's
32 games total.
So it's such a long weekend, and this is the culmination of all of it. He's just one game away at this point.
Yeah.
YouKnowWP, we did mention, this is kind of his game to lose right now. This is a generally considered a very favorable matchup for the Miracle Rogue deck because the Paladin deck doesn't really put a ton of pressure on them, which allows them to build up that hand and get those huge Gadgets and Auctioneer combo turns.
Yeah. And a lot of times N'Zoth Paladins even have a good way to deal with it. It's just, even if they have a way to deal with Stealth Auctioneer, if the Rogue can be greedy with it, the Paladin's not going to really apply pressure to sort of rush the Rogue into doing much of anything.
And this might look like a pretty weird play, YouKnowWP attacking a Recruit while the Doomsayer is about to go off.
Yeah.
It does help against the threat of Solemn Vigil.
Solemn Vigil.
He ends up not reducing this cost of Solemn Vigil by 2, instead only reducing it by 1, recognizing that against a deck with so much healing, a dagger hit for 1 to the face, probably not going to matter, but if Casie was relying on casting Solemn Vigil the next turn, that could be a big difference in the game.
Yeah, the extra card draw can matter, the extra health point might not matter at the end of the day. And YouKnowWP can set up a lot of burst. South Sea Deckhand plus double Cold Blood with the Faceless Manipulator. As long as you have a weapon equipped, is 20 burst damage from hand with 4 cards.
It's a lot.
It's quite a bit, yeah. And you can assemble the pieces relatively easily. The thing is, you still need to make sure you make some other damage stick, or have a concealed mini that sticks the turn prior. So it's not a one-turn kill.
Look at this, Casie just, all right, play this, go. He literally
is it green?
Takes his turn in a matter of seconds. True Silver takes out the Azure Drake. Acidic Swamp Ooze destroys the dagger along with the Deadly Poison. So, this game so far is actually going quite well for Casie, as all things considered.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell that during his opponent's turn, he's really thinking it over and thinking of the possibilities. You see him mousing over his cards and things like that. So it looks like he's just taking YouKnowWP's turn. And every time YouKnowWP plays something, Casie sort of nods in approval. He's like, yep, yeah, okay. That's what I expected. I'm gonna kill that in 3 seconds next turn and then end my turn.
Already had that in mind. Yep, okay, yep.
Check, done.
Yep, there's that Solemn Vigil. We're going to see coin into... I'm actually a little bit surprised that we're necessarily going to see the Fire Lord come down here. He is, he's just going to go ahead and pressure him. There's a couple of schools of thought about this. One is, okay, you want to potentially try and save this for a Concealed Auctioneer. On the other hand, you also just need to kill your opponent.
Yeah.
This is a matchup where you don't want to give the Rogue any time if you can avoid it. And yeah, we're going to see Auctioneer does come down, and I think that we're probably going to see a flurry of spells, most likely including Sap on that Ragnaros.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of times rogues won't deal with the Rag by killing it.
Right.
They'll sap it. So if you want it to deal with the Auctioneer, a lot of times you'll get it back, even if you play it the turn prior, because it's hard for rogues to deal with big minions, or it doesn't usually feel great for them to deal with big minions with just spells, because that means they're throwing Eviscerates or multiple spells in order to deal with those large minions.
All right, in case YouKnowWP gonna go ahead and redagger. He could have played out his his South Sea to try and potentially absorb a Rag hit, but wants to save that for the burst combo. And I can't imagine we see. Well, there actually is a couple options here. He could go ahead and Equality Consecrate, but he's just gonna go for it. Ragnaros comes down.
Trust
Who is the insect who must die? It is the Auctioneer. So all of a sudden, Casie going from a position that was very troubled by the power of Ragnaros back to an even board with just Ragnaros.
Yeah, and when a rogue is under pressure, sometimes they'll use their damage spells or even just their cards in general inefficiently because they just don't have really ways to gain health outside of maybe a single Earthen Ring Farseer. So pressure is one of the ways a lot of times how you beat rogue, even when you're playing slower control decks, because they don't usually expect it. Their game plan going in is, I'm going to have a lot of time, I'm going to draw cards, even their mulligan strategy during that part. So it looks like WP is not going to deal with this.
Wow.
That and with the double consecration.
This is very nearly lethal. Consecration clears off both of these, does 4 damage to YouKnowWP. Ragnaros, only one target, it's the face.
He's going to be at 2 health with not many resources left. That means Casie just needs like a true silver champion. He still has Tyrion left. So
he's Tyrion in his hand.
Yeah, he could get even just an Ashbringer swing would do it.
All right, well, a second Auctioneer is the draw for YouKnowWP, so if he's going to find something, this is how he'll do it.
With 2 coins and 10 mana?
He
could draw his entire deck.
Just about. He even has a Faceless Manipulator. If he really wanted to, he could Faceless that Ragnaros and go, okay.
Yeah.
Ragnaros did so well for you. Let's see how he does for me.
And he could actually Faceless Manipulator and then kill his opponent's Rag by playing South Sea Deckhand, Eviscerate, and SI Agent with the coin, because that would be 11 total mana. So, you know, that might be the option here, but it looks like YouKnowWP is going to search.
And he's actually, the rope is already burning. He does not have much time to actually evaluate each of these draws from Auctioneer. He's going to have to make these decisions very quickly. All right, go ahead and Farseer into, all right, it's Van Cleef.
Oh, man.
Yadric the Pure comes down. And Forbidden Healing, pumping him right back up. This is a 1-in-4 shot of just ending the game right here. Oh, it takes out the Auctioneer.
Wow.
Does not end the game, but it
second best target besides the face.
Takes out the biggest possible threat on the board, with the exception of the opponent.
Yes. And YouKnowWP, you're starting to piece together quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
He does have South Sea Deckhand plus a single Cold Blood and a Faceless Manipulator, which right now is 12 damage with a weapon equipped, but he only has 3 represented on board because of Adric the Pure, and that Rag is still sitting on the board, and it has yet to be dealt with, and it seems like YouKnowP just doesn't want to deal with it. He hasn't even touching it. He's just ignoring it, saying, I'm just going to try and make my board a little bigger, reduce the chance that you have to hit my face, and hope that I can pull out a miracle win.
Yeah, he does know that Casie is out of Consecrations, and because he's out of Consecrations, the only kind of way he could clear the board is a symmetrical way to clear the board. So 2 damage poison off of Zeril, SI Agent, just going to go face. Yeah, he is just kind of hoping that he can close this game out through damage before Ragnaros hits his face or Casie finds that true silver champion to end the game.
What's it going to be?
Spellbreaker. He can Sidge Rag! There it is! Ragnaros, no fireballs here, punches YouKnowWP in the face, and Casie is moving on to the Europe